Clinton server. Joining me now to discuss Pate, Sarah Westwood, and Rafi Williams. Let me go to you first, Sarah. Of course, this is a story. It involves sources, and it's starting to materialize here. But we keep hearing that there's massive turmoil between the FBI and the Justice Department, in part because these things, a lot of agents want this information to be more public.
Absolutely, and you've seen a lot of these tensions start to emerge because FBI agents have wanted to pursue this Clinton Foundation investigation more aggressively than the Justice Department was willing to let them. And Justice Department officials, most of them anonymously, have cited the lack of evidence that they felt FBI agents had. Well, this revelation that there were Clinton Foundation-related documents discovered on Anthony Weiner's computer could give FBI agents the power they need to override those concerns and to push for more aggressive investigative steps like subpoenas and search warrants that the Justice Department was reportedly denying them before this.
And you know, Rafi, just from Captain Harris reported last night on Anthony Weiner's computer, New York agents who first reviewed felt that there were relevant records to the foundation, classified, and Clinton server. In fact, they called it the, quote, trifecta. So a lot of these emails, perhaps classified emails, floating around in places they shouldn't be.
Well, this has been the problem all along is, can we trust Clinton? Her biggest weakness has been this issue of trust, and finding emails on a personal computer that have been passed around that might have classified information on them hits this nail on the head. She's tried to put the story behind her for the longest time, even in the investigation into the Clinton Foundation. She denied it was going on to the Des Moines Register earlier last year. So this is a continuing problem for her, and as more leaks come out, it's just more bad news for her.
You know, Hillary Clinton, of course, Rafi, not the only person who needs to understand that the Nile is more than the river, right? I want you guys to listen to what President Barack Obama had to say about security being compromised because of this situation.
It is important for her to answer these questions to the satisfaction of the American public, and they can make their own judgment. I can tell you that this is not a situation in which America's national security was endangered.
Paige, you think if the question was posed to the president today, he would give the same answer?
Well, possibly. It does appear there's a lot more information out there than we previously thought. But my concern, Charles, all along is, why is the Justice Department involved in this investigation? I think a special independent prosecutor should have been appointed a long time ago. So perhaps that investigation would have never been closed to begin with, and we would know a lot more now than we do.
Sarah, you know, listen, this is a public relations fiasco, so a lot of, you know, Monday morning quarterbacking, if you will. How do you see it playing out from here? Some people there's some speculation that maybe Comey feels he may have to come up with another update before the election to make up for what happened on last Friday.
That's exactly right. He's facing sort of bipartisan pressure to do so, but I don't think that Clinton would like it if Comey came out and explained further what he was doing. Comey has already proven himself to be a cautious guy. He wouldn't take such an extraordinary step if he didn't believe the underlying evidence was compelling. And we've seen reporting that this emerged weeks ago, and they actually did all they could to ensure that this was a significant development before putting himself out there publicly. So if James Comey does come out and further explain what they're looking at based on all the reporting we've seen and what you've just mentioned, that's not necessarily going to help Hillary Clinton's cause.
Rafi, we're looking at potentially just something of a nightmare, a national nightmare, if Hillary Clinton wins on Tuesday and some of these leaks prove to be true. Again, these are from sources that are considered to be reputable, but still we don't know. But if they do turn out to be, in fact, true, from classified information to Anthony Weiner possessing them to the foreign nations hacking the server, what happens with that sort of an administration?
Well, I mean, it's looking like the FBI is going to continue to investigate, and there could be an indictment. I mean, this is something that we're in uncharted territories here, the Wild West, if you will, to see what's going to happen. How do you handle it when you have a president-elect whose charity is under investigation and who her email server and use of classified information itself is under investigation? I mean, usually in instances of classified information, you'd strike away security clearances, but how do you do that with the president? So there's a lot that's going to have to be explained and further shown out after this election is done, no matter which way it goes.
Paige, how do you see it going?
Well, it's tough to say at this point. I don't think we really know what's in the emails that were found on that computer. The Justice Department recently obtained a search warrant really allowing them to dig into that. I know what's been reported, but I don't think we're going to have all of the information until we let the agents do their job. But it is certainly possible, if not certain, that this is not going to be complete before the election.
Yeah, I mean, we know, of course, that they've got some sort of super program to go through the metadata, but again, we're talking 650,000 emails. And Sarah, you know, when Page talks about the agents being able to do their jobs, I guess that's at the crux of this problem here, right? Apparently, when Comey did make that drop that Friday bombshell, cheers were rang out throughout the FBI headquarters that, hey, finally a step in the right direction.
That's what we're hearing as well, that agents were feeling very gratified with Comey's move. There has been a lot of criticism of the FBI somehow trying to interject itself in this election because of politics. That certainly doesn't help the FBI do its job, and it doesn't help agents obtain the tools that they need from the Justice Department. And it goes to mostly Republican-led calls to appoint an independent counsel to handle this, because the reporting we've seen has sort of shown the Justice Department to potentially be politicized. And it's not just limited to this investigation. That's stretched back to Fast and Furious, the IRS investigation. Those allegations have been going on for years, and potentially an independent counsel is an option to help empower agents to do what they need to do to wrap this case up.
Sarah, I read your coverage on this, and do you think James Comey is the man who will be able to knit this the FBI back together again? Or is it not really him? Could it be his boss, Loretta Lynch, who is the problem here?
From the reporting we've seen, it appears to be that the tensions are between the Bureau and the Justice Department. So it's Loretta Lynch's operation that is potentially pumping the brakes on this case as it proceeds. I think that removing James Comey at this point would send the wrong message to agents about the priority that this case holds in the law enforcement community.
All right, guys, thank you all very much. It's just fascinating and really scary stuff at the same time. We do have breaking news for you right now. Most of America